Hello friends, this is Subhalakshmi. Welcome back to my channel Geography with Joy. Friends, do you know cash crops play a very significant role in the economy of the country, provide raw materials for several industries and are valuable foreign exchange earners. Today I am going to talk about a major cash crop of India, that is jute. It is falling under fiber crops. I am sure you will enjoy the video. Please watch the video till the end. And if you liked, please don't forget to press the thumbs up button and share the video with your friends and relatives. And of course, don't forget to subscribe my channel as well. Then, without much delay, let's start the discussion. Today's topic for discussion is on jute cultivation. And the outline of the topic is Introduction. What is golden fiber? Types of jute. Geographical requirements for growing jute. Methods of cultivation. Uses of jute. Disadvantages of jute fiber. Health benefits of jute leaves. Distribution of jute cultivation in India. And the problems of jute cultivation. Before proceeding, let's learn about cash crop. What is a cash crop? A crop produced for its commercial value rather than for use by its grower and his family is called a cash crop. They provide raw materials to agro-waste industries. They provide money to the farmers not only to improve their living conditions but also to improve their farming practices. The main cash crops are categorized as sugarcane, oilseeds, both edible and non-edible, beverages, it includes tea and coffee, fibers, includes cotton and jute, and other cash crops like tobacco and rubber. Now, let's talk about jute cultivation. Jute is one of the most important cash crops of eastern India. It is the crop of hot and humid climate and is exported as goods and as a raw fiber. Jute is a long, soft, shiny fiber that can be spun into coarse, strong threads. Both the fiber and the plant from which it comes are commonly called jute. Jute is known as a golden fiber because of its color and value as a foreign exchange earner. It is also referred to as the brown paper bag of wholesale trade since it is widely used as a wrapping material like gunny bags or sacks. It is one of the most important commercial crops. The fiber is obtained from the stem and the inner bark. Here shows the jute cultivation in India. The jute plant grows to a height of 2 to 4 meters. Its fiber in the inner bark is soft and strong and can be drawn out into yarn of good lengths. It is in great demand because of its cheapness, softness, strength, length, luster, and uniformity of its fiber. Jute is rightly called the second important fiber crop of India after cotton. India suffered a great setback in production of jute as a result of partition of the country in 1947 when about 75% of the jute producing area went to Bangladesh. It was called East Pakistan at that time. Fortunately, only production of raw jute suffered as most of the jute mills remained in India. Look at this. This is a masta plant. Masta is inferior substitute for jute. It can withstand drought conditions. Therefore, it is grown where jute cannot be grown. Bags for refuse are made from masta. Jute cultivation is mainly concentrated in the eastern and northeastern India, while that of masta is spread almost throughout the country. And this is the mesta cultivation. Jute and mesta crop are together known as raw jute, as their uses are almost same. Raw jute plays an important role in the country's economy. Mesta leaves and seeds can be eaten. They are very healthy and tasty too. Types of jute. There are two varieties of jute grown in India. They are white jute and tosa jute. White jute is hardy, highly adaptable and grows well on both lowlands and uplands, but is mostly grown in deltas and lowlands. Have a look at this picture. This is white jute. It accounts for around 75% of the total area under jute in India. Second one is tosa jute. Tosa jute cannot withstand flood, hence it is grown only on uplands. It has branches only on top and the fiber in the inner bark is soft, long and strong. It occupies about 25% of the total jute area in the country. Have a look at this picture. This is tosa jute. Its leaves and young stems are commonly eaten as a vegetable similar to okra. Its fiber is used to make low-cost fabrics such as burlap and twine, though the fibers of the tosa jute are considered to be somewhat inferior to those of white jute. Coming to the next important part of the topic, geographical requirements for jute cultivation. Let's start with soil. A rich, loamy, alluvial soil formed in delta regions with comparatively flat topography is ideal for jute cultivation. Since jute rapidly exhausts the fertility of the soil, it is necessary that the soil is replenished annually by the silt-laden floodwater of the rivers. Large supply of cheap labor is also necessary for growing and processing the jute fiber. Next is temperature. Jute is a tropical crop and requires a hot and humid climate with temperatures between 24 degrees Celsius to 35 degrees Celsius and relative humidity of 90%. Rainfall. Jute needs heavy rainfall of 150 cm to 200 cm with 80 to 90% relative humidity during the period of its growth. Small amount of pre-monsoon rainfall varying from 25 cm to 55 cm is very useful because it helps in proper growth of the plant till the arrival of the proper monsoon. Incessant and untimely rainfalls as well as prolonged droughts are injurious to this crop. Rainfall between 2.5 to 7.5 cm in a month during the sowing period is considered to be sufficient. Occasional showering varying from 2 to 3 cm at intervals of a week's time during the growing period are very useful. Large quantity of water is required not only for growing the jute crop but also for processing the fiber after the crop is harvested. Other requirements. The crop is soil exhausting and hence should be replenished, and is better replenished by fresh deposits of alluvium during the annual floods. Labor is done by hand and hence must be plentiful. The crop must be protected against fungal diseases due to jute mites. Plenty of clear soft water for processing is necessary, which is provided by the river Ganga and river Brahmaputra. Methods of cultivation. Let's start with sowing. The fields for growing jute have to be thoroughly prepared before the crop is sown. Since the jute seeds are small in size, land should be prepared to fine tilling, which can be done by careful ploughing. Jute is generally sown in February on lowlands and in between March to May on uplands. Sowing of seeds is done by drilling or broadcasting method. I have already discussed about different methods of sowing in detail in my previous video on rice cultivation. You can refer to that video for better understanding. Weeding is very important in the early stages of growth. When the plants are about 15 cm tall, they are thinned out. Then comes harvesting. Jute is ready for harvesting after 4 to 5 months when the plants grow tall to a height of 3 to 4 meters. Harvesting period is in between July to September. The plants are cut to the ground and tied into bundles. Strips of jute stalks are then immersed in flood water or ponds or stagnant water for about 2 to 3 weeks for retting. Now the next question is, what is retting? Let's find out. Retting is the soaking of the stalks and the removal of the fiber from the bark after plants are submerged in a pool of gently flowing clear water to separate the long strands of fiber from the stem. This process softens the tissues and breaks the hard bond between the bust, and the process permits the fibers to be separated. After retting comes drying. The stalks are kept in water for 20 to 25 days and then dried. Then the fibers are hung up or spread on thatch ropes to dry for 2 or 3 days. The jute is then piled in boats for transportation to processing centers. The next step is processing. Retting is followed by rinsing, washing, cleaning, and drying in the sun. All these processes are to be done by human hands, for which availability of plenty of labor at cheap rates is very essential. Luckily, this labor is readily available because jute is cultivated in areas of high population density. It is then graded and made into bundles which are pressed into bales. Jute is graded in quality according to its color, strength, and fiber length. The fibers are off-white to brown and about 1 meter to 4.5 meter long. Jute for export is pressed into bales that weigh about 180 kg each and shipped to manufacturers. Jute intended for local use is pressed into bales weighing from 55 kg to 150 kg. Have a look at this picture. Jute processing is going on here. There is a different unit for jute spinning, which converts jute fiber into yarn for various end uses. The type of jute yarn that is made can be classified according to the application or use, such as fine yarn, Hessian yarn, carpet, sacking yarn, etc., according to the need and use. Properties of jute. Jute fiber has some unique physical properties. What are those? Let's find out. Jute has high tenacity. Stiffness of jute fiber is high at normal moisture content. It is bulky. Jute has sound and heat insulation property. It has low thermal conductivity. It has anti-static property too. Jute is a strong, coarse, environment-friendly and organic material, and it is 100% biodegradable too. It is a natural fiber with golden and silky shine. Uses of jute. Jute is a natural biodegradable fiber with the advantages such as high tensile strength, excellent thermal conductivity, coolness, ventilation function, etc. Recently, due to the improvement of people's living standards and need for environmental protection, the demand of natural biodegradable and eco-friendly fibers is rising worldwide day by day. Jute is used as domestic ropes, mats, purslane twines, horticultural twines, etc. In the upholstery trade, jute is used for covering the underside of chairs and as webbing for supporting chair seats. Interlining are often made from jute cloth. Jute is also used as ventilation ducts, bitumenized hessian for road surfacing. Oil extracted from jute seed by petroleometer can be used in the manufacture of soap. Jute sticks can be used as fuel. Furniture made from jute not only looks good but also can enhance the area of a living room. Jute furniture can stay longer without any heavy maintenance or cleaning. Even without any added chemical substance, jute has the quality to be very immune against water damage, unlike other materials. Jute fiber, jute cutting, and jute waste can be used as a high-quality paper pulp. Fine yarn of jute is used for clothing purposes. Jute has also been used in making some components of car body in many European countries. Jute matting is used to prevent flood erosion. Jute tea prepared from jute leaves is becoming a very popular drink nowadays. Jute fibers are strong, coarse, environment friendly, and organic. Jute fibers are used for making mats, gunny bags, cordage, hangings, Hessian clothes, ropes, strings, carpets, decorative articles, handicraft stuff, etc. Very fine threads of jute are made into imitation silks. By mixing jute with cotton fiber through Jutex technology, various types of coarse fabric is made, which is cheaper than completely cotton-made fabrics. Due to these many uses of jute and its value as foreign exchange earner, definitely we must say that jute is the golden fiber of the country. Have a look at these pictures now. These are jute seeds. Seeds are small and black in color. This is jute oil, extracted from jute seeds. Jute oil is very good for hair growth. This is a jute sari, which is very comfortable to wear and looks good too. And these are some jute furnitures. The whole room is decorated with jute furnitures. This is a jute box for storage. This is beautiful and strong too. These are some handicrafts made out of jute. How beautiful they are. Have a look. These are some jute ropes and these are sacks made of jute. Now let's find out the disadvantages of jute fiber. And here we go. The grease resistance of jute fiber is very low. Although jute is called a golden fiber because of its color, the shade turns yellow when sunlight is used. If the jute gets wet, it will lose its strength. The jute is not so flexible. It has no luster. Jute fiber is not so durable too. The drape property of jute is not good enough. Hence, it doesn't give a very graceful look while wearing. Have a look at the health benefits of jute leaves now. Regular consumption of jute leaves prevent aging. It prevents skin cancer, strengthens bones and teeth, reduces pain like injuries, body aches, and also increases stamina. It stabilizes blood pressure, lowers cholesterol levels. It prevents acne, solves hair problems like hair loss and baldness, makes hair healthy and strong, and reduces dandruff. It also helps in losing weight, cures asthma, improves eye vision, lowers the risk of cataracts and other eye disorders. It increases immunity and fights against cold and cough. It improves sleeping quality, cures Ebola virus. Jute leaves are rich in antioxidants. Jute leaves are rich in vitamin E, A, and C. These three nutrients are potent antioxidants that protect the cells from free radicals. It also helps to improve vision and fertility, among other benefits. Coming to the next important part of the topic, distribution of jute cultivation. Let's find out the areas and states where jute is grown. West Bengal is the largest producer of jute. It accounts for more than 70% of India's jute production. The main areas where jute is grown are the Ganga-Brahmaputra Valley and the delta in West Bengal, deltas of the river Mahanadi and river Godavari. Other states are Bihar, Jharkhand, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Tripura, and Orissa. Assam is the second largest producer of jute. West Bengal is best suited to growing of jute because the delta region is rich in alluvium coupled with cheap, abundant labor. It is hot all the year round with heavy rain, which is above 200 centimeters. The land is flat and there is plenty of fresh, soft water for wetting from the distributaries of the Ganga and Brahmaputra. At the end, let's have a quick glance at the problems of jute cultivation. Shortage of raw materials. Despite of the government's effort to increase area under jute, India is not self-sufficient in raw materials. Obsolete mills and machineries. Lack of irrigation facilities. During Kharif season, Some farmers grow other crops like wheat and vegetables instead of jute. Stiff competition is offered in international markets by Bangladesh as also by synthetic fibers such as nylon. Decrease in demand. Instead, sisal and hemp are increasing in importance. Strikes and lockouts by the employees. Delay in sanctioning loan to the farmers and inadequate credit facilities. Lack of quality seed and high price of inputs. High cost of jute production and unstable jute price. Lack of training facilities. High disease infestation and wheat problem. Shortage of labor at peak period. Lack of rating water. One major problem, partition of Bengal in 1947. In 1947, when Bengal was divided into West Bengal in India and East Bengal, earlier in Pakistan, now in Bangladesh, the jute mills remained in our territory while the jute fields were allotted to Pakistan. This was a major setback to the jute industry in India and led to the loss of many foreign markets as production declined. Jute industry is one of the oldest industries and it is the most labor-intensive industry in eastern India. There were more than 100 jute mills and 3 lakh jute mill workers in the country. This industry played an important role in earning foreign currency as well as providing livelihood to lakhs of families and helped our economy to grow and sustain. Hence, steps must be taken to boost the production of jute and the revival of the industries. And that's all for today. I hope you liked my video and enjoyed the topic too. I have already uploaded many videos on different crops cultivated in India in different categories. Kindly go through them. I'm sure you will enjoy. Please don't forget to subscribe my channel and like and share my video. Thanks for watching. See you again with another interesting topic soon. Till then, take care and have a good day. Bye bye.